To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Welcome to Mouse House. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 4 of Mouse House, a Disney movie podcast. I am Becky.
I am Aaron.
And welcome.
Welcome.
I didn't know how to end that.
Yeah, you were kind of going off somewhere that you didn't know where you were going.
I didn't know. Sorry. I'm a bit tired today.
I do like your t-shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I have. You say that, and we're on a podcast where nobody can see us. I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse Red Nose Day edition, so Mickey with a red nose.
It's really cool.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. So today we are talking about a recent film.
Yeah.
Disney's 2019 version of Dumbo.
Dumbo. Let's get ready to Dumbo.
Isn't it? Let's get ready for Dumbo.
Sorry.
Fun fact, did you know that that's the same guy that says let's get ready to rumble? It's
I know.
the same voice actor.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did you not?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Found this out.
I was proper cringing, but we'll talk about that in a moment.
So let's go for our 60-second challenge.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this one.
It's been a few weeks before.
It has.
We've got some cars in the background. We have to apologise for that.
We live
Literally next to a main road.
I mean, like most people live on roads, so cars do exist. we don't have a studio or anything like that.
Not yet.
We're just in our spare bedroom, you know? Like, what do you mean not yet? Brilliant. We're just in our spare bedroom. We've got the cat on the bed, fast asleep. Oh, I've woken him up now. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we've actually watched this one, so we may go off in tangents talking about some of the other live actions coming out this year. But 60 seconds. Do you want to go first this time?
Oh gosh, I guess so.
You go first this time. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, do it.
Mrs. Jumbo has a baby, Dumbo, and he can fly. He finds out because when he has a feather in his trunk, he sort of inhales it and sneezes, and then his ears go huge, and then he flies, and they lock his mother up because she gets angry one time, and then there's a load of human characters that just are irrelevant to the story, but they exist. In this version, none of them talk. None of the animals talk, just the humans. It's really disappointing. And he can fly, and that's kind of it. He can fly.
Is that song even in it?
No.
Okay.
So that's good.
You did all right.
I mean, yeah. Do you wanna try and do better than me?
Yeah,
can you tell my enthusiasm for this film?
Yeah.
You can tell what my rating's going to be already.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
So based on the original Dumbo cartoon.
You just look down. Are you cheating?
Sorry.
Are you looking at notes?
No.
Looking at
All
notes.
right, start
again. 3, 2, 1, go.
So based on the original Dumbo, 1941, it's basically Jumbo has this baby, and they call it Dumbo because of his ears, and then he is able to fly because he inhales this feather, and basically he gets taken away from his mother, and they get stuck in this massive theme park that kind of resembles Disney.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and the guy played by Michael Keaton is like this bad guy who just wants the money from Dumbo and all the sales and all the merch sales and all that, and basically Dumbo breaks free and wants to be with his mother. That's it, really.
Awesome. So, trivia challenge. Can I go first this time?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so question number 1 for you is, what is Dumbo's real name?
I thought it was Jumbo, but it's not, is it?
Yeah.
It is Jumbo.
Jumbo Jr.
Oh, okay.
What were the kids' names in the film?
Pass. Did not care for them.
Millie and Joe. And Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
He played Holt.
Did he?
Yep. I don't know any of the characters' names. I know Dumbo, and that's it. What appendage did he lose in the war?
His arm.
Well done. You can tell I was scraping the bottom of the barrel for the trivia questions there. I just have no interest. Anyway.
All right then. So Timothy did appear in the movie.
He did. Well,
where and when?
Well, we don't know if Timothy appeared in the film.
Tim Burton has said so.
They didn't actually say it was Timothy.
Tim Burton, I think he tweeted out or something.
Oh, okay. But anyway, the mouse that looked suspiciously like Timothy Mouse was in a little cage belonging to the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know when they appeared, but
early on in the film, before you find out he can fly.
Okay, cool. There's Timothy for you.
Okay, so what scenes from the original 1941 Dumbo did we not see?
Did we not see?
Yeah. There's one in particular that I can think of.
You don't see Dumbo rocking on his mum's trunk. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking?
There's a couple more. There's a couple more, but
you don't necessarily see the Casey Jr. train going.
Yeah, you do.
Going along not as much.
It's not as improminent.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you don't see a load of storks delivering babies.
No, but you see storks.
You do see storks, but they're not delivering babies.
It's not the beginning of the film, which was a really charming part of the original that they didn't copy. The main one I thought was a real tearjerker was the moment when you see all the other animals snuggling up to their mothers while Dumbo's mother is locked away.
Yeah.
And Dumbo's all on his own, and it's all sad.
Oh yeah.
And that would have been cool to see all the live action animals doing that. A cute factor, I suppose. But
I mean, there weren't really very many animals in the film at all.
That leads me to my third question: is what animals were missing?
All of them. It was literally just elephants. That was all that we saw. Other than Dumbo and the little mouse cage.
Oh, we see some animals in that whole There's like a
in the
attraction, isn't there?
Horror attraction.
It's like a crocodile and something else. But apart from that, you don't really see them. They're just shadows.
Rubbish.
So yeah, I want to point out as well that this film was really disappointing.
It was so disappointing. What I didn't like about the film is that the original 64-minute long film was so charming, so sweet, so lovely. A little bit racist, but but still a classic. Yeah. And as much as there's some things that you probably shouldn't touch on these days, it was kind of part of the charm from the 1940s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it kind of shows what it was like back then.
Yeah.
So understandably, I guess they cut it all out, all that sort of stuff out. But the main point is the first 30 minutes of the film, that's the entire Dumbo done. This film was like an hour and a half, 2 hours long.
It's too much.
And it's just all about these humans, and it's not about Dumbo. It's all about Colin Bloomin' Farrell and his kids, and it's just not that charming film about an elephant anymore.
Yeah,
it's about these characters and they're trying to show depth. I get that, but it's just not. I don't think it's needed. Yeah. I don't think it's needed.
And when you think about the imagery, like when you think of what Dumbo is, you think of that elephant. Like you don't think of Colin Farrell with an arm missing.
Yeah.
The actors were pretty good that were chosen. I have to say, Danny DeVito was really good in the film.
He was, but the thing is, we'll go into characters in a moment. But the thing that annoys me is Dumbo wasn't even that cute.
No.
There was like a couple of scenes where he was kind of cute. And what I think people know this as well, because have you seen the merchandise for Dumbo? It's the original Dumbo. So, like the collar he has with the red and yellow stripes, you don't have that in this film. Yeah. But yet the Dumbo plushies that they're selling all across Disney World and the Disney website and Disney stores are the original Dumbo. And so what is the point?
Which is a complete contradiction to what they did with Winnie the Pooh.
They made him look the same.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. Anyway, so...
I didn't like the CGI either. No. I thought the CGI was really poor. It was really blurry.
I agree. I just think it's just lost its cuteness.
Yeah.
And it lost its moral background.
Yeah.
Because the moral of Dumbo is you can just to believe in yourself, and you can fly. Yeah. I know I don't mean literally you can fly, but you can fly if you want to. If you don't need vices to help you do that.
Yeah.
So for example, Dumbo thinks he needs the feather to fly. He doesn't. He doesn't need that feather to fly, but he thinks he does. So don't let things hold you back.
Which
is lost in this film.
Yeah, and then
they tried to do the same moral, but it's lost.
And that bit was really sweet. Like the bits you did see like that, it was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
If they cut this thing down to the same length of the original, I think it would have been so much better.
I agree.
And also, my opinion is, if you're going to cut a load of stuff out because we shouldn't talk about it, then why should we really touch it at all if the original was so loved?
Yeah.
So it's bizarre. It's a weird stance.
So some of the fun facts I found out about this film, I did do some research on this one, is that Danny DeVito's daughter is actually a cameo in this film.
Yeah, I knew that one.
She was a coat check girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, found that out. And Nico Parker, who plays Molly, so the young girl, this was her first role. It was the boy's first role as well.
I can see that.
But it was her first role, and she was able to do it because her mum was filming in a studio basically down the road at the same time for Solo, a Star Wars story.
Who's her mum?
She plays Val.
Oh, okay.
So that's her mum. So they were filming, a couple of lots, studio lots apart.
Yeah.
It was also all filmed on a soundstage, every single bit, even the outside bits.
That doesn't surprise me. Which is, again, the reason why it doesn't sit with me as well, because I like practical stuff.
Yeah. So we have Colin Farrell, who plays Holt. Colin Farrell, you'll know him from Fantastic Beasts, Saving Mr. Banks, Total Recall, Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, he plays Max, who is the circus ringleader.
Yeah.
He's in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Matilda, Junior, Twins, Space Jam, and Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
You have Eva Green as Colette. She is in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and lots of independent films.
Okay.
And then the kids, Nico Parker and Finley Hobbins as Millie and Joe. That's their first films. And then obviously there's the other dude who I forgot to mention. You mentioned him earlier.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton, who plays Batman. And he also is the bad guy in Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay. He's in lots more, but yeah, he's quite famous.
So favourite characters and least favourite characters. I didn't quite like Danny DeVito. I like Danny DeVito as an actor. I think he is quite funny but I feel like he wasn't quite himself in this film.
Right.
He didn't get to be himself very much. Yeah. And I think part of that, if I'm being completely honest, is I think Tim Burton, the director, is...
Don't get me started.
I think he's very, controlling.
Yeah.
And he wants everything done his way, which meant that Danny DeVito couldn't do things in the way that's usually himself as much, and that would have made it better.
Yeah.
So I didn't like him. I didn't think the kids were very good. I thought Colette or whatever her name was, Eva Green, I didn't think she was very good. I don't think Colin Farrell was very good. I don't think anybody did well in this film. I don't think anybody portrayed any emotion. I don't think exactly, and I don't even think Dumbo was very good. I don't think the lack of Timothy Mouse was really bad. There isn't anyone who, if you ask, because I'm really bad at like actors. Like if you give me an actor's name, I can't picture them.
Yeah.
I can't picture any costumes, anything. The only thing I can remember is that the girl had her hair in braids, two braids going around the back. I don't remember what the boy looks like at all.
Yeah. Do you agree with me that they kind of played on the success of Greatest Showman?
I think...
Imagery-wise, like you think of like inside the circus and the attire that they're wearing and the fact that they were focusing on human characters.
I don't.
Okay.
Because if you wanted to turn Dumbo into a film about people, this is the only way you would do it.
Yeah.
In addition, everybody, whenever you think of a circus in, 1920 or something, it's always a little bit creepy because so was The Greatest Showman. It was all just a bit... if you think about at the beginning of Greatest Showman, when you've got like all the wax figures and everything, and everyone's a bit like, ugh, that's kind of what a circus was back then.
Yeah.
It was a freak show. That's what a circus was. A circus was a freak show. And there's no other way of, I don't think they went, oh, Greatest Showman did really well, we'll do Dumbo, because it's not a musical. It's not, do you know what I mean? I don't think that, personally.
Interesting.
But I do think it was awful.
And Tim Burton, I have so many opinions on. Like, I like Nightmare Before Christmas.
I love Nightmare Before Christmas.
I quite like Corpse Bride.
I do.
And I really like Batman. But
I like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I didn't. He's had so many misses, especially of late. Yeah. And I'm kind of checked out on him now, I have to say.
I would agree.
I'm just done.
I didn't like Alice in Wonderland, for example. But then I don't like the original Alice in Wonderland that much. You'll hang me up for saying that, people, probably. But for some reason...
Everyone has their least favourite Disney
For some reason, I just don't like that one that much. We'll come to that one.
It's a bit psychedelic.
Yeah, we'll review that when we get to it. But I agree with you. But the... obviously, the classic pairings of Tim Burton meant that we had Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Danny Elfman obviously doing The Simpsons and every other Tim Burton film in existence.
And it didn't live up to any of his best work. No.
I did... At first, I quite like how they sort of subtly incorporated the Casey Jr. song at the very beginning.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I thought that was quite nice, but then the film turned into such a pile of rubbish that made it disappointing.
The opening was really strong and really promising.
Yeah. I wasn't happy with the Casey Jr. intro, though, because I wanted more of it.
Yeah.
And if the film wasn't as poor as it was, I think I would have been okay with it being just, sort of just in there.
Yeah.
But because the film turned out to be so poor, yeah.
No, I agree.
So what about your favourite scene and your least favourite scenes?
I haven't got any favourite scenes.
I just put the Casey Jr. intro music because I love that song. I love the Casey Jr. song.
Yeah, to be fair, I forgot about the opening, but I don't know.
What about least?
All of it.
I
did have a least favourite.
I did pick one out as well.
I think ours is going to be the same.
Yeah.
Was it Riding Dumbo?
No.
Oh.
I'd forgotten about that. I had wiped that from my memory. God, I hated that bit.
Why would they do that?
I forgot about that bit.
Why would they do that?
Why would they let a girl... What? I'm done. I'm done with this.
Stay tuned for next week.
Come back. Have a magical bloody day. Getting angry. I agree. It's awful.
Yeah.
The other awful part I had come up with, because I'd forgotten about that damn thing, so rubbish, was Pink Elephants. The drunk scene with the balloon.
What was that all about?
What did they do?
What did they do to that scene?
What did they do?
They had one job.
One job. That is like... Because obviously in the original... Dumbo gets drunk by accident.
Were they just too scared to get him drunk?
They hallucinate and that's it. And this time it was just some what? I don't even know what it was. Just some weird dancers on set. No.
It was rubbish.
No.
Rubbish.
So yeah, that was that. So continuity errors, of course, they are aplenty.
Just all of them.
They're not. They're just the entire film.
Continuity errors. The whole film.
But what I did notice was, so the film is set in 1919. I'm reading this off the internet, by the way, because I just could not. But the film was set in 1919 and the early 1920s.
Yeah.
When Dumbo escapes the circus, he flies over the Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay.
And in the background, you can see the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building. The Empire State Building didn't start construction until 1930.
Yeah.
And the Chrysler 1928.
Yeah.
So, good job.
I knew that. Jesus.
Also, when Dumbo flies for the first time, the clowns inside the tent all high five, and apparently high fives did not exist in 1919.
That's a little bit more harsh and a little bit more nitpicky, but...
I would disagree.
The Empire State Building, come on.
Yeah, a bit of an error there.
Wow, you might as well just put a McDonald's in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, the least favourite part about the film is the fact that Timothy Mouse does not exist. Can we have a moment to talk about poor little Timothy?
Poor Timothy gets left out, and he was one of my favourite characters from the original. Like, to the point where you actually take out a main character.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's not even just a favourite character. He's not like a cult classic or something like that where everybody likes this little side character. He's the main character with Dumbo.
Yeah, it's like him and Dumbo go on this adventure.
What? Where was he?
And the fact that you take away the crows and everything, okay, I understand, but there are worse things in the movie than what the crows portray.
Not having it.
It's mad.
Not having it.
Madness.
Not having it.
Sequels.
I hope not.
Dumbo 8.
No more. we're done now.
We're done.
This one doesn't
I
even
mean, we
deserve-
can kind of talk about live action remakes. Just a couple, just for a few minutes.
Okay.
Aladdin, you're not so sure.
I'm worried about it, but then I'm not really interested in, and I haven't really seen the original. That stupid A Whole New World song, I just...
What?
Oh. It's Peter Andre that ruined it.
Hey?
It's all Peter Andre's fault. Him and Jordan singing A Whole New World.
Brilliant.
Have you not ever seen that?
No.
When they were in the Celebrity Jungle
So you
together.
watched that, but you not watched Aladdin?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Right, so when Jordan and Peter Andre were in the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here jungle, sorry if you're not from England watching this, but listening to this, but they were in the jungle, they fell in love, they wrote a song together on the campfire, and then...
How do you remember this?
Because I watched it. And then afterwards, once they were in their couple and they'd like come out of the jungle, they sang A Whole New World and released it.
Oh my god.
And it was just poor, and that
I can imagine.
it just meant I'm gonna have to play it for you after this.
And then, but for me, yeah, like I'm checked out of Will Smith recently because he just hasn't done any good movies recently. The last good movie I saw him in was Pursuit of Happiness, so I'm a little bit worried.
That was a good
about that. Moving forward, we've got Lion King, which I am looking forward to.
I am excited, but
I think they can do that right.
I am scared because you have films like Jungle Book where the film is similar but slightly different.
I loved Jungle Book.
You've
though.
got Cinderella, which is exactly the same story.
Beauty and the Beast was good.
You've got Beauty and the Beast, which is identical as well, and then you've got Dumbo, which is a completely different story.
But I think you can kind of blame Tim Burton for that.
Yeah, but the trailers did not lead you to believe that was the case.
Yeah.
I don't think the trailers showed, I think the trailers led you to believe it was going to be slightly different but similar.
And to be fair, I think Bob Iger turned around and said Lion King isn't going to be a shot-for-shot remake.
And that's why I'm scared, because
Let's focus on the human characters.
oh my god, if there's human characters in Lion King, I'm going to shoot myself. I'm just worried for it. I just don't want it to be... I just don't want them to do what they've done with Dumbo, because as much as I understand that people don't want a carbon copy, I liked how Jungle Book was, where it was different but the same.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast was a bit too carbon copy. There was a couple of additional bits in it.
I liked that film.
I loved it, and I'm okay with it, and I get why some people aren't. So maybe like that middle ground of Jungle Book where you've got a bit extra, because with Beauty and the Beast you've just basically got an additional scene or an additional backstory.
I'm really looking forward to watching that one again.
It wasn't quite enough, I don't think, for some people. I loved it, but I don't think it was enough for some people.
Okay. So what we'll know is the Walt Disney World links. Obviously, more so the original Dumbo. We got the Dumbo elephant ride.
You've got the Dumbo's ride.
Which I've never ridden.
You haven't?
I've never ridden Dumbo.
Wow, I need to take you. You've ridden Aladdin's Magic Carpets, which is basically the same ride. Just a camel doesn't spit at you.
Yeah.
That's basically the difference. They do have the Big Top Circus as well.
Oh, of course.
Which isn't necessarily Dumbo, but it is.
It's a Dumbo themed area.
Yeah.
You've got is it Casey Jr., like the splash pad part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got the train that goes around. You've got Casey's Corner, the hot dog stand.
Is Casey's Corner part?
I feel like I'm going to make it.
You just made that up.
I'm just going to make it up, but it's Casey's, so I don't know if there's any links to it, but I'm going to decide it is.
Oh, brilliant.
I'll Google it.
Fantastic. I just remembered as well, we've got Artemis Fowl out this year, which I've never heard of.
Artemis, I have heard of it.
I don't know anything about it. It hasn't really been given any buzz, so that's going to be interesting.
Right, here we go. Right, Casey. Okay. Oh, it's themed to Casey and the Bat segment of animated feature Make My Music, so it's nothing to do with Dumbo. Which,
Fail.
Massive fail.
Call yourself a Disney fan.
Well, yeah, I've not really seen Make My Music, I don't think.
So, staying on the same subject though, what would you like to see incorporated from Dumbo in the future in the parks, if anything?
I don't think we need anything else because we've got the Dumbo the Flying Elephant ride, so which makes me think we should have seen it coming. Shouldn't we? We should have
The
seen
fact
that.
you can ride Dumbo.
We should have seen it coming.
Yeah, they're trying to incorporate more things like from their rides into films because we're getting Jungle Book. We're getting
Because that's a very fair point. Nobody rides
Cruise.
Dumbo in the original film, but yet the ride is you ride on Dumbo's back. Why did we not see it coming? Oh,
Do you think they're trying to
so
make
mad.
more of this stuff like canon from the actual parks? Because obviously we're getting Jungle Cruise. We've got the Dumbo where people ride Dumbo. I know we're meant to be getting a new Haunted Mansion movie as well on Disney Plus. So
I don't know. Sorry, I'm yawning. This is how boring this film is. I did nearly fall asleep in that film as well.
you did. I
did.
struggled.
I struggled. I don't know. I think so within reason. Yeah. But then why wouldn't you? It's like, for example, Thunder Mountain. It's not themed to anything, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's Walt
weird.
Disney World. It should be a Disney theme.
Yeah,
And I know a lot of people are like, no, I don't like that. Nah. And when they change Space Mountain to
Yeah.
Hyperspace Mountain, they're like, nah, why do we want a Star Wars overlay? Nah, I don't like Star Wars. I get that. But the point is, it is Disney World. You don't go to a water park and go on a roller coaster.
no, you're right.
You don't go to a theme park and expect a log flume. Not a log flume, a flume ride.
Yeah,
It's Disney World. Everything should be Disney. And
part of me thinks as well. In fact, I want to do a podcast at some point where
Yeah.
we're talking about each ride and what film it's related to, or what film what they could do.
ooh, that sounds
That'll
like
be
a good
quite
idea.
fun.
Maybe we'll do that one day.
Yeah.
We've got a few films to watch first, though. And obviously merchandise for Dumbo in the parks is aplenty. You can get the plushes everywhere, and they never have that big enough ears, though.
No, they're
In my
always too
opinion.
small. And
Because, I mean, Dumbo's ears are, like, bigger than his body.
yeah, I don't think there was much of a demand for this movie. Going back to this, like, no one, like, there are so many other movies that they could have done before Dumbo. I just think that it shouldn't have been the one released so soon. Like, you'd think they'd go for the heavy hitters first before delving into the other stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Pete's Dragon was a weird one. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many other movies they could do.
Yeah. In summary, right, this film was pants. It was not worth the
It's a new
cinema trip.
rating, pants.
Yeah, my rating, I gave it a 2.
Ooh.
It did get 2 points, and the 2 points were because at some point, especially in the first 30 minutes, Dumbo was cute. The other point it got was because the first 30 minutes are kind of true to the film, true to the original. It's done in a different way, and I don't like the way it's done it, but it is true to it. And it starts with a similar story. So it got a couple of points, but then I'm not a harsh critic, so I'm never going to give a film 0.
Hold on to your butts.
Just held on to the cat's butt, then like, I'm holding on. And now he's awake and mad at me.
I gave it a 1.
Oh, you gave it 1 though,
And do you know why it gets 1?
because Dumbo's cute.
No. Because I didn't fall asleep.
It managed to keep you awake. Yeah, so it was...
It was bad. And another thing that I haven't mentioned,
I
sorry.
was so disappointed.
Yeah, I was.
I was so disappointed.
But another thing that I didn't mention is back to the whole Michael Keaton character. The character that he plays. I'm pretty sure that role should have gone to Johnny Depp. And because of the whole controversy with him at the moment, he didn't get cast. So it's like, oh, we're going to cast Michael Keaton in his role.
Or do you think it was because Tim Burton was like, if I do another one with Johnny Depp, people are going to start asking questions? Because
Well,
he
I
and
think
Helena
people-
have split up now, so...
I get that. But at the same time, though, people just come to expect Johnny Depp to be in these films. And I think with all the controversy and how Fantastic Beasts
It's
didn't
boring
do
now,
too
isn't it?
well. And yeah, and I just think, like, his mannerisms, Michael Keaton's mannerisms and the way he says stuff in the film is like, yeah, that's Johnny Depp. There's so many
Yeah.
moments in the film I thought,
It was written for him,
yeah,
almost.
like,
I don't know. It was just dull. I was
it was
so
boring.
disappointed.
It
I
was
was
boring.
so disappointed. At first, honestly, the first 10, 15 minutes, I was smiling. I did enjoy it. And then it just went downhill.
too long. It was too long. That was the main culprit as well.
And in complete opposite of that, our podcast this week is too short. So we're sorry about that.
Not by long. We're at 29 minutes right now, so it's
Okay.
fine. But talking about Disney Plus, do you think this will launch with Disney Plus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I think it would have been awesome if we had this movie as a shorter movie on Disney Plus. I think it would have been more successful if it was like half an hour long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They could have put more effort into... Like, I just think they need to rethink how they're doing it. Like, you could have more main live actions, like the big popular ones, and then stuff like Dumbo and Pete's
But Dumbo is a popular film. They just did it wrong.
But it's not as popular.
I would disagree.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's a classic. It's like one of the most classic animal ones.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
I think it's up there with Bambi. Like, it's a classic film, but it's not Lion King, Aladdin. It's tentpole. Do you know where I'm coming from?
No, I agree to disagree.
Okay then.
I'm sorry. So so that's our ratings, guys.
Cool.
Shall we have a look and see what we're going to watch next week?
Yeah.
Whilst Aaron's grabbing the hat, as always, we'll leave all of our links down in the show notes below. You can find us on all the social medias at mousehousepod, or you can email us at mousehousepod@gmail.com. Eventually, hopefully, we will be able to start recording these, because this is our first batch for our launch of the podcast. I think this is the last one of our launch podcasts.
That's right, yeah.
So from now on, we're going to sort of release them, and then we might have one more in the launch. We haven't decided yet.
Okay.
But what will happen is, if you have any comments or anything you would like us to say during the actual podcast, we will let you know. As I say, we're going to tell you what next week's is now, although in theory you won't have time to listen to watch that one.
Yeah.
We invite you to watch the film with us, and then send us in your comments, your questions, and we will read those out in the podcast. And we would really like you to get involved, because we'd like to hear what other people's opinions are, because we do sometimes have similar opinions. We do sometimes have different.
Yeah.
So we would like to get some other people's points of views. So please get in touch. And as we say, we're a new podcast. We're still amateurs. We're not pretending to be pros. We just want to have a chat, really. So any criticism or positives, please leave us a comment and give us a rating on whatever podcast provider you're listening to us on, so that we can just do our best to make you guys smile. Yeah. So have you got the hat ready?
I do.
Are you going to draw out?
I am.
Next ones.
Hold on. We are watching
Ding.
Up.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to say anything about that. We'll leave that for next week.
Awesome.
So thank you guys so much for listening and joining us, and we hope you have a magical day.
I'm Russell, and I'm a wilderness explorer.
Good afternoon. My name is Russell, and I'm a wilderness explorer.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
we'll
you.
see you again next week.
Bye.